Here's the time SpongeBob flatlined a bus.
Ouch.
And here's the time he was let loose on downtown Bikini Bottom.
How's it going?
How this guy has passed his boating test is beyond me. Oh wait, he hasn't. Just how many tests has SpongeBob SquarePants actually failed? Well, today I'm going to be going through the many times he took and failed his boating test and how much catastrophic damage he's caused Bikini Bottom in the process. Starting with the episode, No Free Rides. On land, you can pretty much have a driving test whenever you like, but under the sea, there's a certain period for tests. If you don't pass within a certain time frame, you gotta wait until next year. And that's exactly the case for SpongeBob.
It means another whole year of boarding school! What happened?
Ouch. From one narrator to another, that's our frackin' worst nightmare. Striking him down has cost SpongeBob the price of a TV-ready camera, but also 20 points on his test.
How many does that leave me with?
Negative 224.
How many more minutes left in the test?
The test is over.
That's enough time! I can make up those points!
No, SpongeBob, you really can't. Just go back to the drawing board and try again next year. He's gonna floor it, isn't he? Something tells me he hasn't made those points up. Just a hunch, though.
What's my final score?
6.
Woo! And how many do I need to pass?
6. 100.
Despite failing with flying colors, Puff realizes that she can get rid of her spongy problem if she just passes him with extra credit. So she gets SpongeBob to write a 10-word essay on what he learned in boating school and gives him a license.
Here's your license.
My license. It tastes just like I dreamt it would.
Now, sure, he doesn't take any more tests in this episode as he technically passes, but considering Mrs. Puff had him pass unfairly, she starts to stress about the type of driver she just let loose on the roads.
Local consensus places the blame on this negligent, selfish driving instructor. Let's not use that take.
And her conscience gets the better of her, so she decides that she's gonna sneak into SpongeBob's house and take his boat before he can do any damage. But he's not gonna let it go without a fight, and naturally he thinks it's some random burglar, not his, former driving instructor.
I'd never let you have this boat, not even if you were Mrs. Puff.
The cops catch the pair fighting while driving, and obviously Mrs. Puff ends up taking the heat, mainly because she was attempting to steal SpongeBob's boat.
So, how's it going, Mrs. Puff?
SpongeBob, I'd like to apologize. You really weren't ready. I shouldn't have passed you.
So I guess I gotta give my license back, huh?
It might not be SpongeBob's most expensive failed test, as he only damaged $27,700 worth of goods, but hey, I could hardly leave out that Mrs. Puff burglar scene. It's kind of wild that she's been driven to that extreme, especially when we see her in Bumper to Bumper loving her gig as a boating instructor. Well, until her next student shows up.
I can't wait to pass my next student. Nothing gives me more joy than teaching.
Hello, Mrs. Puff. I'm all set for my driving test.
She's got every right to be upset. As soon as he steps foot in the boat, things start going wrong, and the sponge ends up flooring it backwards, all while smashing the entire school to bits.
I have this under control. Don't worry, Mrs. Puff.
Can you imagine living by the school, seeing destruction on your doorstep whenever SpongeBob's taking a test? Well, actually, SpongeBob's about to take that to a whole new level.
You have once again failed your driving test.
Maybe this is what 5D TV is gonna look like. You know, just without actually costing you $200 for a new TV and $15,000 to fix your smashed wall. SpongeBob's also totaled the boat too, so that's another $25,200 needed to be added to the tally. With another failure under his belt, Mrs. Puff finally loses it and tells him something no pupil ever wants to hear.
I'm beginning to believe you're simply unteachable. You fail this test over and over. Get out of my sight now.
Come on, I know he's a nuisance, but did you really need to talk to him like that, Puff? Well, she actually realizes she's been a little harsh on the dude, so she decides that she's gonna make one last effort to get him to pass his test. She wants SpongeBob to overcome his fears.
Focus on the road. There is nothing but the road. There is nothing but the road. Hey, look at me.
Wonderful!
All not crashing and stuff.
See, all you needed was a little new age teaching to get him back on track, and boy does it work. SpongeBob goes into a trance with this new focus on the road mantra, and it turns him into one hell of a driver.
There is nothing but the road. Focus on the road.
While he's basically hypnotized, Mrs. Puff realizes she's never going to get a better time to pass SpongeBob than now, so begins testing him while on this new course. But as he's just about to pass, they leave the scary horror road and meet up with the Seaway.
It's a 10-lane intertidal seaway! Stay calm, SpongeBob. SpongeBob! SpongeBob!
All he's got to do to pass his test is stop the boat, but you can hardly do that on a freeway. I mean Seaway.
We got us a runner.
Pull over, SpongeBob, and make it quick! Look!
After clipping the cop and spinning out of control, SpongeBob manages to keep control of the boat and brings it to a complete stop.
There isn't a scratch on this vessel. Goodness gracious, SpongeBob, the test is history. You passed! Here's your license.
He passed? What about the crazy reckless driving? The fact that he hit a cop and, oh, I don't know, almost got you killed? Well, Mrs. Puff just wants SpongeBob out of her sight, so gives him his license. But the cop they hit catches up to them, and he's got some bad news for Mrs. Puff.
Well, you, ma'am, are a parole violator. You crossed the county line 3 miles back.
Yep, after all of the tests through the years that SpongeBob has failed and all the damage he's caused, Mrs. Puff is basically always on parole. And driving so far out of Bikini Bottom with him violates that, which also means
Null and void. I'll take that.
sadly, that's another F for SpongeBob. And another $150,600 worth of damages. It's actually sort of impressive how bad he is at driving. He drives like Squidward cooks. The very first time we see SpongeBob get behind the wheel of a boat is in the episode Boating School, and today is the big day, his test.
The big boating exam is today. I've never felt so capable.
You know how important this test is to him if he's gone through the trouble of making a giant calendar just to mark it. Before he sits in the driver's seat, though, there's another test SpongeBob has to pass.
Okay, number 1. What is the front of the boat?
The bow.
What is the back?
Stern.
Number 3. Right is...
Starboard. Port. Skipper. Deck. Cabin. Galley. Keel. 1924.
You've passed the oral test. What a surprise.
So he passes that test with flying colors, but as we've seen already, he's probably not going to have much luck when it comes to the actual driving part of his test.
Oh, SpongeBob, why?
After nearly killing poor Mrs. Puff and smashing her lighthouse, SpongeBob heads home pretty heartbroken about the whole thing.
I've already taken it 37 times. I'm tired of failing that boating test. Meow. Okay, 38.
38 times. I know in some of the other episodes that I've covered already, he'll have failed a hell of a lot more, but bearing in mind this is the first boating-related episode of the series, 38 is kind of a lot. Well, to get him out of this driving depression, Patrick swings by to cheer him up and maybe give him a path to that driver's license dream.
Thinking straight is what I do. You drive, and I'll do all the thinking for you.
How are we gonna do that?
Come in, SpongeBob. Hello? Hello?
Well, that's all well and good, Pat, but don't you think a giant antenna sticking out of SpongeBob might give the game away?
Wait a minute, Patrick. Won't I look silly with this antenna coming out of my head?
Maybe this guy ain't as stupid as we think. Anyway, he hides in SpongeBob's house and uses a giant telescope to snoop in onto the test while feeding his friend answers via the walkie-talkie.
What's the second thing you do?
1924?
No, put it in drive.
Put it in drive?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
With Pat's help, SpongeBob actually starts acting like a pretty decent driver.
Please tell me you know what to do at the first turn.
Left,
Oh!
right.
Oh, my! This is splendid, SpongeBob. You're doing fine.
If you think that was good, Puff, just you wait. SpongeBob's driving license is so close you can almost taste it. He's just got to get to the finish line and he'll be a fully fledged driver. I hope Mrs. Puff doesn't say something that'll totally derail the whole test.
Miles away from here is giving you all the answers.
But of course, SpongeBob, that'd be cheating.
You've let go of the wheel.
I think I am cheating. I do have an antenna under my hat. It's all true. There is a guy giving me all the answers. I'm cheating. I'm cheating. I'm cheating.
What?
He's so caught up by the fact that he's cheating, the little guy forgets that he's in a test. Heck, he forgets he's driving a boat, and once again puts Puff's life on the line.
It's okay to cheat that way. Cheat that way. That way.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
That way. Cheat that way.
So close, yet so far. If Mrs. Puff hadn't said anything, he would have gotten over the line. But then again, Patrick can't be in his head all the time, so can you imagine what sort of damage he'd do if he was let loose? Because from just 2 tests in this episode, SpongeBob has managed to cause at least $335,400 worth of damages. It's not looking so good for the little yellow square here. We've only had a handful of tests so far, and SpongeBob has already managed to fail his driving test over 40 times and cause $856,000 worth of damages. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, and it is, but believe me, he's about to blow that number out of the water. Because outside of the famous bunch of episodes where SpongeBob fails his tests, there are actually a few hidden gem times where he gets an F. Like the time he buddies up in a test with Squidward.
Now let's slowly.
SpongeBob, look out!
SpongeBob accidentally snaps the wheel off the boat and ends up heading straight for the bargain mart. That didn't slow them down at all. I hope they've got a fancy dress party coming up because after their grocery stop, they're gunning for the costume shop. Well, at least their identities are hidden when they burst through this research lab's wall.
Mother of mercy! Where'd they go? There! They're headed right for that discarded potato chip.
Don't worry, it all ends fine, and SpongeBob fails. As usual. I guess the guy just has no luck when it comes to boating. Well, what about the time he actually has a good luck charm? We know SpongeBob's taken his boating test countless times, but he's never taken one in long pants. Basically, he starts wearing some longer pants and his luck changes for the better. So he figures, why not give the test another go? Only this time, it's not with Mrs. Puff.
Now take it slow. A little faster.
Hey, I think I'm getting the hang of this.
Yeah, not even those lucky long pants can help him be a good driver. I know, maybe it was just the new instructor putting him off. Let's get back to basics and bring Mrs. Puff into the picture again, because surely he can't fail every time.
What do you say, Mrs. Puff? Let's get this party started. I'm sorry, Mrs. Puff. I know what I did wrong.
Yikes, if Mrs. Puff blows up anymore, she's gonna float away. You already know that's what happened.
No, SpongeBob. Oh no! We're airborne!
One more crash and you would have popped for sure. Yeah, it's a good thing, too.
No, SpongeBob!
Here, let me take that wheel.
Don't touch that! No!
Don't worry, Mrs. Puff. I got it this time.
That lighthouse is up and down like a yo-yo. They just need to take it as a sign and leave the thing demolished. But what about poor Mrs. Puff? She finally popped after years of stress. Is she even still alive?
Hey, Mrs. Puff.
Oh my.
How are you feeling?
Wow. I mean, I don't want to sound harsh or anything, but she might have looked better if she was 6 feet under because damn. But I guess that's what prolonged exposure to SpongeBob does to people. We've seen him fail 3 tests in quick succession there, and in those 3 tests, he managed to cause $407,925 worth of damage. But that is small fry compared to the time he literally blows Mrs. Puff's boating school up.
Come on, don't have react. Come on. Turn that way. Turn that way. Now turn that way. Right, left, up, down. I'm ready. I can do this, Mrs. Puff. I can do it. I can do it.
You just know this one's going to be a doozy because this episode starts and within 20 seconds, SpongeBob's caused over $1 million of damage and his dastardly driving is about to spill over and head for the city.
Get back on the road! Oh! Ah!
Hey, what do you got against the melons?
Imagine being a melon man. Wait, that came out wrong. Imagine being someone who sells their melons. Okay, not much better. Trying to say it sucks for the guy. Well, it doesn't suck as much as owning this house.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that guy had no front license plate. Let's get him.
No front license plate? They see a runaway boat chopping down a house and they're worried about a dumb license plate. Catching SpongeBob is going to be harder than you think, though. Not because of the speed, but because of this.
Look out!
I officially open this unfinished bridge.
Maybe there'll be like some pillow factory under the bridge to break their fall? Or like a jello lake. Well, sort of, but not quite.
The seniors are getting cranky! Hurry up with that truckload of fruit punch!
It was a fruit punch-filled truck that broke their fall, and now it's fit to burst. Right next to the old people's home.
All right, seniors, let's open these windows so the world can see your nice white clothes.
Geez, of all the places SpongeBob could have caused a flood, he just had to go and pick an old people's home. They ain't cheap either. Let's say this home is on the small side of things with 64 beds at the national rate of $100K per bed. That home would have been worth at least $6.4 million, but it's not completely destroyed. Sure, there's gonna be some serious water damage, but I think no more than at least like 2.5 mil worth of stuff it was there. But there are things that'll be lost in the fruity wave that are priceless.
A memoir of my life, written in red ink. It's finally finished. Oh, particles.
SpongeBob obviously fails his test and once again lets Mrs. Puff take the heat for his criminal driving, not that she seems to mind.
Smelling the pretty happiness is just too kind.
I guess you could say that SpongeBob is feeling a little guilty with Mrs. Puff taking the rap, so he tries to figure out a way he can bust her out of the can, starting with trying to get arrested himself.
All right, put the money in the bag. Put it in!
You're facing the wrong way, sir.
Okay, so that's a no-go. How about sneaking into the prison cafeteria and the chili?
When are these horrific hallucinations going to end?
Mrs. Puff, it's me, SpongeBob. No, it's really me. I brought Patrick along, too.
Of course that works. But Mrs. Puff doesn't want to get out of jail anyway. She's enjoying her sponge-free life. The only hair in her prison cafeteria soup, though, is that SpongeBob and Patrick won't take no for an answer. And they keep popping up to bust her out, which ends up with Puff being sent to solitary confinement for basically losing her mind. And you know what the walls are made out of in solitary confinement? Sponge.
Made of sponge.
She has every right to go insane. Her student has led her on a police chase, destroyed 10 cars, a truck, a melon seller's dreams, and nearly wiped out an entire old person's home. Well, old people's home. There was multiple of them. The cost of which comes out to a staggering $4,857,284. But we're not done. We've still got a monster test coming your way, and it might be the most famous of them all. I know that Mrs. Puff has some more students than just SpongeBob, but when you got a student like him who constantly fails and causes untold amounts of damage, it's bound to put you in the spotlight career-wise, which is exactly what happens when Mr. Fitz from the Boating Teachers Accreditation Bureau visits to sit in on our classes.
That's impossible. In all my years of teaching, only one student has failed my class.
We've noticed there have been an unusually large amount of failings from this classroom. Yes, but he's failed 1,258,056 times.
1,258,056 times. Okay, so doing a bit of quick maths, this is a Season 4 episode. We saw a little earlier that in Season 1, SpongeBob had only had 38 tests. So in 3 seasons, he's failed 1,258,018 times? How does he have time to breathe between working at the Krusty Krab and taking boating tests? Anyway, Fitz puts the blame on Mrs. Puff and gives her one more chance to pass SpongeBob.
If SpongeBob fails this test, you will be replaced.
Okay.
Hey, you never know. Maybe it's gonna be 1,258,057 times the charm. Who am I kidding?
Drive the boat.
Mrs. Puff gets her marching orders and takes an early retirement to do anything other than teach SpongeBob something, and to be fair, she takes it quite well.
You are relieved of your teaching duties.
I won't be teaching SpongeBob anymore. No more SpongeBob.
But SpongeBob sure isn't laughing, especially when he sees who's replacing Mrs. Puff.
Hello, worthless student. I'm your new instructor. No one's ever failed my class that's lived through it.
Well, Sergeant Roderick, you've not met SpongeBob. Although, I don't know if it's all the sharp teeth and macho attitude, but I think if this guy can't get the little sponge to pass, no one will. He rules with an iron fist.
How's it taste?
It's a delightful taste sensation.
No eating in my classroom!
But let's see if he can have that same type of control when it comes to testing time. Knowing SpongeBob's background, Roderick puts him on a special pre-test routine where he plots out the course by foot. Surely he can't do any damage that way. To really hammer home the course, Roderick decides to take the mental stuff out of the game and make SpongeBob rerun it as many times as he can, blindfolded, and it's not a bad idea.
1005. Oh, pebble number 143. You will not trip me up again, pebble number 143. 1006, 1007.
So with being a success, Roderick raises the stakes and gets the sponge behind the wheel.
Left turn at pebble number 143. Kid with a ball. Nice boy.
Nice driving. Now parallel park up ahead.
Nice driving indeed. He's even got that swagger about his driving that he had earlier when Patrick was in his head.
Very good.
With everything looking shipshape, SpongeBob is ready for his real test, so Roderick invites Mr. Fitz back to show him how easy it was to teach the unteachable. But there's one little problem. SpongeBob still hasn't driven without a blindfold.
Mayday! Mayday! You're off course!
You've got to be an idiot to leave a giant bottle of flammable liquid on a driving test track anyway. Never mind a track that SpongeBob SquarePants is going to be driving on. Completely totaling the boating school would most likely cost just over $1 million, and as a national average, 5 cars are usually on site. So that's another $126,000, but believe me, this is just the beginning. Before any more damage though, they paid Mrs. Puff a surprise visit.
Now that I'm away from that homicidal maniac, SpongeBob.
Not even hitting her was enough to slow them down, and they're headed for downtown Bikini Bottom.
The brake, son!
Aye, aye, sir. Here you go, sir. All I had to do was unscrew 2 little bolts.
Oh, good heavens. Well, like the true sergeant he is, Roderick jumps out of the boat and tries to tackle it head on.
Man down! Man down!
I mean, what did you guys expect? Nothing's gonna stop this runaway boat from bursting through Bikini Bottom.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry.
Hey, SpongeBob!
Sorry, Patrick. I can't stop to talk right now.
That's 14 houses turned into rubble. Seeing as the average house price in Hawaii is $833,984, if we multiply that by 14, we get $11,675,776, and there's still no sign of stopping.
I can't see! Hey! I can't see!
I know it's illegal and all that, but why didn't anyone think to blindfold him a bit quicker? But hey, at least he's in control now.
Did I pass?
Well, if there was a destroy the city part of the test, you would have.
SpongeBob proves to Mr. Fitz that he's totally unteachable, and Mrs. Puff gets her job back. Now that might be nice and all, but across the 2 tests SpongeBob took in this episode alone, he's managed to rack up $12,882,626 in damages. How can one little sponge be so destructive? Throughout the course of the show, SpongeBob has sat and failed over 1.27 million driving tests. Which means if he's taking a test every single day, SpongeBob has been failing for 3,479 years. Can you imagine teaching someone for that long? Now how about the damage? Well, over the course of a select few televised tests, SpongeBob has managed to deal at least $19,003,835 in damages across Bikini Bottom. So you can only imagine what the real number would be if we saw all of his tests. And yeah, sure, SpongeBob has caused nothing but trouble while he sat on the driving seat, but the little guy means well, which is more than can be said about some of the other shady characters out there, like the guy who just popped up on screen now. So give it a click to see what they're all about. Thanks for watching.